Welcome to Color Me Psychic. Where are you calling in from today?
Thank you. I'm calling in from Texas.
Awesome, welcome. So, what question do you find yourself asking over and over again that you want to explore today?
Well, less of a question and more of a feeling I'm having over and over today. I just kind of went through some intense stuff and trying to figure it out.
Awesome, awesome. That is perfect. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's dive right in. I want you to think about that intense feeling that you have or that you're experiencing. Where in your body would you say you feel it the most?
I would say the back of my neck and the top of my chest.
Okay. For your neck, how would you describe the feeling in your neck?
Very tense,
Okay. Any other words or just tense?
tight, gripping.
Would you say it feels like a heavy emotion, so like down, upset, or off, or more of a light emotion
I would
or
say
feeling?
it's a heavy emotion.
Heavy. And what about the top of your chest? How would you describe that sensation?
Yeah. Like this pressure, cloudy pressure.
I like that. Cloudy pressure. And would you classify it as heavy or light?
It's medium. It's not as intense as the neck one, I would say.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Great awareness. Cool. So we'll go ahead and have you color one piece of paper. You can use whatever shape and color you want to color out the heaviness in the tenseness in your neck and the pressure in your chest. And then
Okay.
once you're done, just let me know.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. So this is what you colored when you were thinking about the general intense feelings. Talk
hmm
me through what you colored and kind of the colors and shapes that you used.
The first thing I colored, I focused on the neck. That's the top half of my picture. I went with brighter colors, as you can see, the red and the sort of orangish.
Orange gold or just orange or
Ah, see, I should have kept the crayon so that it was a fancy Crayola words. It's probably more of a yellow orange.
okay. And for the shapes, how would you describe the shapes that you used for the red and the orange?
I would say they're a lot more pointed and I don't know, sharper.
Yeah. Would you say they were like horns or triangles, or are they just like the general?
I just went general, whatever popped into my head.
Okay, that's perfect. That's awesome. And then the red kind of looks like fire. Would you say it's fire, or would you say it was just like lines?
I would say it was more just like lines.
Okay, awesome. And then is it red lines coming off of the orange yellow
Yes.
shapes? Okay, awesome. And then talk to me about the on the bottom half of the page.
Yeah, that was my chest thing. I went with some swirls. I went with a different, like lighter red color and blue and gray.
Awesome. So in color mending, every color and shape has a specific meaning. So colors represent emotions and then shapes represent what the emotion is about. So I'll go through and just kind of give you information about what the colors could potentially mean and what the shapes represent. Feel free to take notes. I'll be asking you if it resonates or if it's making sense or if there's another way or yeah, just if there's another way that you would describe the feelings or interpret the information. Uh,
Okay,
but yeah, let's go ahead and dive in.
cool.
So orange right here, it has to do with emotional mirroring. So it's not necessarily like your emotions, it's your kind of imitating or taking on the emotions of someone else. I
Oh,
think
that makes
it's
sense.
yeah, I think it's really interesting that you put two because it's like a very symmetrical drawing too.
Yeah,
So there might be some like emotions in there that are yours, but the majority it's like you're mirroring someone else's emotions. What you'll find too is when you take on other people's emotions or mirror another person's emotions, sometimes it will feel more intense. Points. So anytime that we see a lot of points on a shape, it just represents anger. So the more pointy something is, the more like anger and frustration is kind of there.
That's pretty spot on then.
Yeah. Awesome. And it's going to be fun as we go through all the shapes and colors too, because your coloring is going to tell like the story. So it's just us trying to figure out like what the story is, because hopefully at the end of the coloring session, it will help you understand a little bit more about what those general kind of intense feelings were, and then what they're trying to help you see. But yeah, we'll keep going.
All right.
So red specifically for this, the lines in the middle have to do with being annoyed, specifically around things being frustrating. So just being annoyed that it is so frustrating. Lines have to do with thoughts that are holding you back. So this annoyance, there's something about holding on to the annoyance and the frustration that's kind of blocking you from seeing things clearly, or it could even be tied to the ability to like stop emotionally mirroring and kind of be in your own feelings.
All right. That makes sense.
Whenever there's like any sort of like drops or dripping off of a shape, that has to do with just not feeling comfortable expressing the emotion. It could be that you're not comfortable expressing it because it's not your emotion, so you really don't know what to do with it.
Okay.
The red coming off of the orange shapes, they have to do with betrayal. And this is just feeling betrayed, more along the lines of feeling disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw the orange shapes, the first thing that came into mind were horns,
Yeah.
or like the shape of the horns. And horns have to do with authority. So this could be like authority figures or someone who may have more authority than you. Um, if that helps give any more perspective around that.
Hmm. I feel like if I was thinking horns, I would have done them the other way, maybe. Because
Okay.
since, horns usually go up, so it seems more like, I don't know, I guess like a lightning or stabbing or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Lightning just has to do with something that needs your attention.
Well, yes, that's accurate.
Cool. That resonates better. That's great. So that anything else around like the top half of your picture, any like questions or anything else you want to explore?
No, that feels right.
Okay. So swirls have to do with how much you want something to change. Because it's kind of this medium feeling and not heavy, we're gonna go with more of like the lighter interpretation. So just wanting this to change,
Mm-hmm.
wanting something that's affecting like these intense feelings to change. So
Yeah.
we can look at what the red, the blue, and the gray represent. Red in this swirl has to do with trusting. So more of a willingness to rely on others. Blue has to do with hopeful. So there is this optimism and like sense of possibility of the future and what that could look like.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Gray has to do with peaceful. So just more of like an inner quiet and contentment. The interesting thing about this too is I think that there's a lot of anxiousness going on around the change. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of hope in wanting it to change, but there's also a lot of like anxiousness around what does that look like. But
That's spot on.
really,
Yeah.
I mean, it came from you. So I'm just letting you know. Yeah, this definitely came from you.
Well, sweet. Yeah.
That's great. And it's more of like an uneasiness of what does it look like in the future? What does Yeah, what do things look like in the future? Definitely there is a lot of optimism though and hope. So it's a lot of just a lot of conflicting feelings.
Yeah.
If you want to, we can color another picture. So typically if you have like a really big intense emotion, the first coloring is you more just moving through the emotion, kind of understanding what the emotions are about, and just being more aware of where the emotion's going to sit in your body. If you have time, and obviously no pressure, you can do a second coloring if you want. So we can think about the general intense feelings again and see if the emotion or the sensation has moved to a different part of your body. But it's completely up to you.
Okay. I feel like the neck thing is still there.
Okay.
The chest thing is maybe a little easier. I don't
Okay.
want to say maybe. It is.
Okay. That's good. Would you say that has any other part of your body kind of like feel any noise or any sensations, or is it just still primarily in your neck?
Just primarily in the neck.
Okay, awesome. And then how would you still say that it's tense, tight, and gripping, or would you use other words to describe the neck?
Yeah, I would say neck hasn't changed too much.
Okay. And then is it still you would still classify it as heavy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you can take another piece of paper, take the back of the paper, and just color out the heaviness in your neck. So for your second coloring, you drew this. Talk me through the colors you used and also the shapes.
Yeah. So my triangles are Cosmos gray. My circle was whatever that like neon color in the background, that was an accident. That was Crayola misrepresenting itself. So
Yeah,
just ignore that.
oh well, yeah.
It's supposed to be more of like an orange red.
Okay.
And then the like lower triangle tail thing is some kind of green.
And as you were coloring, you said you wanted to go with dragonfly, or do you just want to do like the triangles and circles?
I'm down with either. I wasn't intentionally drawing a dragonfly, but that's what it just ended up looking like. Once I was done drawing, I was like, that looks like a dragonfly.
Yeah, yeah. We can go ahead and look up what dragonflies mean. So dragonflies represent transformation. It's very similar to butterflies.
Yeah.
So it's just a period of significant change and transformation that's happening right now.
Hmm.
What's interesting too, you kept saying that the neck, like your neck was feeling really tight. Necks have to do sometimes with not wanting to yield to opinions that you think are wrong.
Yeah.
So that's also probably contributing to that.
For sure.
Let's look at gray. Gray has to do with concern or excessive care and concern towards something. So it's kind of a step less than anxiety.
Okay.
Triangles have to do with just your connection to yourself.
Okay.
It's interesting that you drew like symmetrical shapes when you were thinking about the neck,
Yeah.
but it even might be worth considering the connection to yourself and then connection to something or someone else too.
Yeah.
In the middle, the red orange,
Hmm.
it has to do with mirroring the betrayal. So this betrayal isn't necessarily yours. It's just taking on the betrayal that maybe someone else feels.
Interesting.
Circles have to do with how certain something feels. Uncertainty is tied to the betrayal or to you taking on the betrayal, the emotion of betrayal, maybe to make it feel more certain or to make it feel a little bit more easier to manage.
Interesting. I'm very curious about the green part.
Yeah. So triangles again have to do with your connection to your inner self. So green for specifically for this has to do with grief. So just feeling like there was a loss of something important. It's not necessarily a loss of someone, but there was a loss of something important that feels like It's like more of a reevaluation of how you connect with yourself,
Hmm,
or how you relate to yourself.
interesting.
Any thoughts or questions after we did both of those colorings?
I thought that was great.
Cool. How are you feeling after coloring everything out?
Um, I feel better after the first one to the second one. It was nice playing it out, and walking through that stuff and realizing some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And now I just feel like I gotta digest this.
Awesome. Hopefully a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I have some uncertainty and betrayal to work through.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's just being human and being alive and caring deeply.
Yeah, and it's nice to have some hopeful, peaceful aspects too.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
there definitely is. Yeah, I think the first coloring was so cool, the dichotomy between like the heaviness, but also like, okay, you're in the messy part. And there is hope
Yeah,
and it may not be super clear, but there's something on the other side.
that's how I'm feeling. I'm
That's
gonna try to
awesome.
keep that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your evening to color with me. I use the color bending therapy step-by-step guide to interpret your colorings. There are color and shapes charts that help you know what your coloring represents. If anyone is interested, you can scan the QR code to download your copy. And if you're interested in getting on Color Me Psychic, scan this code to schedule your reading. But we'll see you all next time. Thanks, y'all.